starters may be new. Some of you probably have been on there before. Again, I'm pretty new to the role, so I didn't know the ins and outs too much. But from my understanding, the way that the budget was done for societies before was pretty much you were given an Excel spreadsheet with generic subheadings that you kind of had to put your numbers into, and you just had to just submit that in. Personally, when I reviewed that, it didn't really make okay, let's be very careful how I say this. Not that it doesn't make sense, it's just it was very difficult to measure. It was very difficult to measure whether you actually were following through with the budget, because a generic subheading wouldn't really make sense for all societies. I'll give you an example. So if you was a sports society, you probably would spend more money on training or coaching. But if you was a business society, for example, you maybe want to do workshops. There's different things that you were doing. By having a generic subheading for each budget just was a lot more difficult for me to measure and follow through with anyway. So what I've gone and done is I've created 2 examples for you. I've tried to make it as simple as I can. Again, if you're new to Excel, you probably won't know too much about it. But again, this is when I kind of fall in. And if anybody has got any questions about it, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 2 examples. I'm going to try and go through the breakdown slightly. Then I'm going to bring up a demo, if that's okay. And then if anybody's got any questions while I do the demo, that'd be great. But again, if you don't feel comfortable asking any questions now when we're doing the presentation, then be sure to pop in my email and just let me know what you're struggling with. So let's go on to here. So this is the example 1. Let's bring this up. Done. I think I can see it all. Okay, fab. So, fab. That's good, James. Thank you. Right. So let's bring on here. So we've got here income tends to be membership and guild contribution. From when I was reviewing the old budget sheet, it seemed as if a lot of societies listed a big chunk of the budget, a big chunk of their income from fundraising, and not a lot of fundraising actually did happen last year. So taking that into consideration, we've now, well, as the guild has obviously said that once they've given the guild contribution, you won't be able to keep pocketing it into the bucket. So once you've submitted your budget and you've got the contribution from the guild, you won't be able to kind of fork out any more, and the guild won't actually give any more money apart from what was actually given to you to begin with. So from my understanding so far, the main income, the chunk of the income will be from the guild contribution and the membership. Again, you could put in fundraising, that's absolutely fine, but when you do put in fundraising, it would be very important to give subheadings and include what months you want to do this fundraising. So for example, if you wanted to do it in maybe the Christmas period, New Year's, Valentine's Day, we can use opportunities like that to bring in the money. I mean, I know food is a big thing, so maybe bringing in food. I know we did one when we did the elections. I was there when they did the election and we gave out donuts and stuff like that. Just to encourage people to vote and stuff. So that potentially would be a good idea. Again, when it comes to trying to get any income and expenditure, if anybody wants to message me and say, you know, if I could give any examples of what they can do, I'll be more than happy to do that. So let's go back. So the income, membership and the guild contribution. So we're going to, right towards the beginning, make sure it's very clear about the membership. Again, memberships can be high, they can be lower. A lot of the times from experience, when things are a lot cheaper, people like to walk into a little bit more, just because it seems like it's a lot cheaper, so you can just get it, but people are more inclined to get it. So over a long period of time, you may make more money by reducing the amount that you're actually selling something. So right towards the beginning, we have the guild contribution and the membership, and we're going to keep that all together. The expenditure has to be broken down separately for every single society. I don't want it to be a generic subheading where it's everyone's using the same thing, because it just wouldn't work. I need to make sure that everyone understands the breakdown. So training, again, these are all just generic. This is just a subheading that I've kind of just thought of the top of my head. It may not apply to everybody, you know, not everyone may use these subheadings, but it's just something I put together. So training, entertainment, socials and shopping, there's a 4 different breakdown. This may change every single month. That's why it's important to make sure we ensure the budget is changing every month, rather than it being submitted in and at the end of the year we're being measured again, because it's just not going to work. So for example, September, October, you know, we may have more people doing training, because you're just starting society. Poor people need training. You may need to have maybe more socials in the first couple of months, so you may spend more money on that month. And I don't know, for example, in January, you may not spend any money on shopping at all. You may not spend any money on socials. You may spend more on training. It just depends on what your society does. Again, if you've got any subheadings, you can shout it out now, or if you want me to just carry on rambling on, it's fine.
The only thing that I wanted to jump in and say is your memberships doesn't have to be the same every year. So if you decide you want to change them and you want them to be less or more expensive, that's fine. Obviously, with the upcoming semester, if you're not going to have coaches because your coaches don't want to obviously run this semester with coronavirus, you could possibly make the membership lower in the first semester and then raise it in the second. So remember, even if your membership's been the same for the last 2 years, it doesn't matter, because this year is your year to make that change. So make sure you're looking into what you actually need, rather than just doing what's always been done.
That's great. Thank you, Alice. Thank you for that. Again, yeah, so just following on what Alice said, every single month it will change, and the membership, like she's made very clear, it doesn't have to stick to what you actually done before. Let's have a look here. So uniform, when will each society find out how much a good contribution is that they get? As far as I'm aware, by the 31st of August, you do need to submit your budget. The exact date, I think Cassie would probably be the best person to speak to about that. But as far as I'm aware, by the 31st of August, you do need to submit your society budget. So the plans for the budget. I'm guessing regarding membership, course-based societies won't include this as there is no fee. Or would we just put so exactly, so you just put a membership. If you don't charge a membership, just put it at 0. Also, just in regards to the membership, I spoke with Sarah yesterday, and she said that all sports societies who actually had personal injury insurance, the way the personal injury they've done it this year, they've changed it, so there's a £6 charge that should be included in every member. So any non-member that was doing sports before won't be allowed to do it unless they're an actual member, unless they're signed. So some non-registered members would go into the sporting events, but that won't be allowed, because only those members that are actually registered would have personal injury insurance. It's very important to remember. So maybe when you're trying to do your budget together for maybe the sports societies, is to make sure you include the £9 in your membership, because every member will be covered. But then the £6 will be included in there. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that clears it up a little bit for you.
To just quickly follow up on that.
Yeah.
So for example, if you were hoping to charge £50 for a member of your society and you wanted to take home £50, you would actually need to charge £56, because £6 of your membership will be taken by the guild to pay for your insurance. Obviously you can absorb that, and so if you don't want to raise your membership fee and you want to keep it at £50, just be aware that you would only get £44 of that membership fee, because of the money that you'd have to put aside for insurance. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does. Okay, fab. So we've got